In today's episode, I'm going to show you productivity mythbusters, debunking common productivity myths. So let's get started. Perspective plans with new videos and podcasts weekly. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/perspective plans for exclusive videos and more. Visit perspectiveplans.com for all of your planner and stationery needs. Only at Perspective Plans, helping you plan for what's to come. Hello everyone, I'm Christina B. Rising and welcome to the Perspective Plan Show, where I help you boost your productivity and stay organized so that you can easily handle whatever life throws at you. I upload new videos and podcasts every single week, so be sure to subscribe so that you won't miss anything. Shop for workbooks, printables, and stickers at perspectiveplans.com. And last but not least, this episode would not be possible without the support of our Perspective Plans patrons and channel members. Thank you. Now let's get into this episode. Myth 1. Working at your worst to become stronger. The idea that pushing through a slump is the greatest strategy for production is another common productivity fallacy. The myth says that if you put your nose to the grindstone and work through your blockages, whether they be creative or even productive, you will succeed. Contrary to popular belief, 1972 research that was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology refuted this notion long ago and made clear that willpower is a finite resource that should be used carefully. To put it another way, each time you whip a horse, you get less speed and of course distance. There comes a point at which pushing oneself farther yields diminishing results. Rather, you should alternate responsibilities on a regular basis and take actual pauses to fully disconnect and allow your body to recover. Though most workplaces don't exactly encourage it, it is still feasible to work on a side project for a little, or just leave the office and go for a stroll before returning to your previous task. Myth 2. Streamline your systems and productivity applications. We feel like we're making progress when we make changes to our productivity tools and systems, or when we completely revamp them. The issue lies in the fact that something is controlling our systems and productivity applications, rather than really advancing our objectives. While it's great to find the right system, I use the Pomodoro method or even an app called Todoist, for example. Relying too much on them can cause problems of their very own, particularly if you prioritize quantity over quality by having you cross as many tasks off your to-do list as possible. Consider attempting to go to inbox zero. The temptation to spend a lot of time reading your email and setting up complex filing systems arises when your daily objective is to end each day with no emails in your inbox. However, all that results in an empty inbox screen. In reality, it doesn't accomplish any higher goals than that. In fact, it may just be a time waster. According to an IBM research study, persons who utilize folders to arrange their emails do not discover them any quicker than others who just search for them. Utilize a small number of programs and platforms and don't worry about keeping up with all the latest developments. The benefits of improving our productivity systems eventually start to decline. While using applications and systems to quantify oneself may be exciting and even addicting, it can also divert our attention from more psychologically taxing and ultimately more fulfilling tasks. Alternatively, choose your programs and systems wisely. Prioritize things offline, then break down and accomplish your priorities by using your preferred applications or even systems. Utilize a small number of programs and platforms and don't worry about keeping up with all of the latest developments. Select applications not because you think you need to be utilizing the newest, greatest thing, but rather because they assist you in reaching your actual objective. Myth 3. Maintaining a bulletproof routine. People who wake up early, have a protein shake, and finish their to-do list before the rest of us even get out of bed are often portrayed as being very productive. And it's possible that sure, some of these individuals are this prolific. However, there's a reason why a lot of us find it difficult to stick to a strict routine. We often feel less than when we engage in self-criticism, which may lead to sadness and even worry. Optimism stems from feeling open and carefree, rather than walled off. When you don't live up to your standards, try being kinder to yourself and more accepting of the difficulties that you face. Try positive self-talk instead. Whenever you want to be motivated and achieve anything, try talking to yourself differently. Be more understanding of your difficulties and supportive of yourself, instead of being harsh on yourself when you don't live up to your expectations. I am so undisciplined when it comes to doing my finances. I always manage to log my finances even though it is one of my least favorite things to do. And I am more disciplined in other areas of my life. Myths about productivity have the unfortunate tendency to make you feel inadequate if you are unable to live up to them, instead of emphasizing productivity in order to attain goals that are really important to you. They encourage productivity for the sake of productivity. Because of this, the main emphasis of a lot of the instead advice in this post is coming up with methods to push yourself and enjoy your job while controlling expectations, which will help you to keep trying even when you don't feel like a failure. Myth 4, try replicating the routines of superachievers. Many articles on productivity like to list the daily rituals of those who are highly successful. Sigmund Freud regularly had his beard trimmed, Oprah never skips a meeting, and Tim Cook of Apple Incorporated gets up at 3:45 a.m. Now, I'm not sure how true this is, but that's apparently the rumor. Steve Jobs only ate 2 meals a week, and so on. However, it is incorrect to value the behaviors of someone who is very successful for a number of reasons. It is statistically dubious to start. Elevating individuals to a higher level of accomplishment might inadvertently undermine our own endeavors. It also fosters the notion that individuals who are very successful consistently operate at their very best. Mason Curry, author of Daily Rituals, How Artists Work, claims that none less than Benjamin Franklin, who is renowned for setting extremely high standards for himself and may have been the originator of the to-do list, was not naturally inclined to keep his papers or other possessions organized, and he found the effort so vexing that he almost quit in frustration. In addition, he found it difficult to consistently adhere to the strict daily schedule he established for himself due to the demands of his printing business. Elevating individuals to a higher level of accomplishment might inadvertently undermine our own endeavors. Rather, use accomplished individuals as role models rather than idols. Take inspiration from those you look up to. Try out their productivity strategies. Adopt the concepts that really make you more productive and discard the rest. Myth 5, utilize perks. The assumption that individuals are more powerfully motivated by external incentives, such as money or prominent titles, is extensively promoted by American society. However, the age-old tale of the individual who discovered they could never be satisfied with all the wealth and influence they could remain timeless. Our most significant and long-lasting sources of production, on the other hand, usually come from intrinsic motivation. In a 2013 research article involving over 3,500 German students, it was shown that all of those students driven primarily by grades put in a lot of effort and performed well in the short term. Those driven by curiosity and a desire to master a topic performed better over the long run. It is interesting to note that when individuals already find a work fascinating, using extrinsic incentives, such as increases, promotions, and even perks, might impair intrinsic value, might impair intrinsic drive. Motivational crowding theory states that when someone who is already engaged in a project is presented with an extrinsic incentive, the internal motivation is displaced. People struggle to resurrect their initial intrinsic drive, even after the outward benefit is later eliminated. Rather, foster inner drive. Make an effort to develop your innate motivation. First, use a framework such as the Eisenhower Matrix to list your main priorities in life. This will assist you in prioritizing tasks and identifying the abilities you want to hone most in your line of employment. Then pay more attention to the procedure than the result. If you're attempting to write a book, for instance, you may write in time blocks and even make a to-do list with time increments for each thing, instead of aiming for the more abstract and goal-oriented objective of writing a book or even just a chapter. This forces you to focus on the very concrete and limited act of writing within a constrained amount of time. Create a budget that works for you and track your debt, monthly bills, savings, expenses, cash envelopes, sinking funds, savings challenges, and more. This budget planner is perfect to take control of your finances, even if you are a beginner and just started your financial journey. Featuring 200 plus planner pages with and without sidebars, over 1,500 planner stickers in 14 unique colors, and 50 plus quote layering stickers that allow you to customize the background to match your planner style. All this and more can be found in the Budget Planner Bundle, available in 2 amazing color options at perspectiveplans.com. Paperback edition, now available at Amazon. Helping you plan for what's to come. Myth 6, real work cannot be done outside of the office. I'm a big supporter of remote work, especially because I do it myself and don't want to go back to the office at any point in my career. But the misconception that employees working remotely are less productive still endures, particularly among managers and even HR professionals who maintain that if I can't see them, I don't know if they're working. Science, fortunately, is on our side. Stanford University researchers looked at 500 workers at a 12,000 person travel firm in China. Employees who were permitted to work from home showed definite indicators of enhanced productivity after just a few weeks. Another advantage is highlighted by separate research that was published in the December issue of the Journal of Consumer Research. Although severe noise like that seen in a too busy workplace might hinder productivity, moderate ambient noise like the din of a cafe can actually increase it. Although working from home has its obstacles, the advantages often exceed the disadvantages. You should be able to act in your best interest. If a workplace is where you do your best work, then go there every day. Ask your manager if you can work from home, if that's where you do your best work. Tip 7, make the most of every second of the day. One of the most pervasive illusions is that working well entails making the most of every minute of the day in order to finish as much as you can, as quickly as you can. This myth is so deeply embedded that it may even be how people conceptualize productivity itself. Our creativity may really be diminished by the emphasis on time management. To be honest, attempting to be a never-ending accomplishment machine isn't compatible with human nature. According to expert in deep work Cal Newport, and other studies suggest that humans have 3 to 4 very productive hours every single day. According to Wharton organizational psychologist Adam Grant, being prolific is not about time management. We only have so many hours in a day, and concentrating on time management just increases our awareness of how many of those hours we actually waste. According to Grant, the emphasis on making the most of our time might be actually counterproductive to our creativity, as productivity and creativity demand opposite attention management strategies. Increasing attentional filters to block out irrelevant or even distracting ideas is what drives productivity. However, allowing such ideas to enter via lowered attentional filters is what spurs creativity. It turns out that the components of creative energy are exceedingly conflicting and complicated. Rather pinpoint and concentrate on the little window of time during which you are most productive. When you have the greatest concentration during those few hours of the day, concentrate your efforts on producing results. Determine when you are most productive throughout the day, then utilize the techniques such as time blocking or even eat the frog to complete your most critical tasks during that period. Make sure you're getting adequate sleep and taking time to detach from work after hours. Myth 8, imagine reaching your target. You mean your imagination is the only thing standing in the way of accomplishing your goals? You'll succeed if all you have to do is see yourself accomplishing your goal, whether it's finishing a marathon, getting your manuscript accepted by an agent, or even getting your ideal job. Though they seem like they should work, visualization methods like The Secret often don't. Instead of encouraging us to leap higher, visualization makes us more comfortable. Rather than encouraging us to leap higher, imagery makes us more comfortable. Because nothing went wrong in our idealized version. People also become more susceptible to discouragement from failures. Alternatively, use your creativity in a practical manner. You may envision what might occur, for instance, if you were to lose out on your ideal job or had to cancel your trip. By doing this, you may avoid being attached to a particular result and maintain an attainable and realistic path to your objective. Myth 9. Set ambitious targets. It frequently seems that those who set the most ambitious objectives are also the most successful, at least in the language of self-improvement, which speaks of scaling the tallest mountain and living one's finest life. Setting objectives, however, such as registering for a half marathon to encourage you to exercise more, or producing a book to encourage you to write, might cause you to overextend yourself and backfire. Long term, it might make you feel as if the action, running, writing, etc. is too difficult. In activities ranging from running on a treadmill to making pottery, flossing, and even yoga, a strong focus on objectives was associated with early dropout rates. In one of the trials, the students in one group were instructed to think about their exercise as a way to lose weight, while the students in the other group were instructed to focus on the workout itself. After then, a statement on each group's goals for the exercise was requested. Instead of running on the treadmill for the full 43 minutes that the students who focused on the experience were instructed to run, the students who focused on the weight loss goal ended up running for only 34 minutes as opposed to 43 minutes. Building up with easily accomplished activities is the greatest way to develop persistent productivity habits. Rather, begin with ludicrously small, dependable behaviors. Building up with your easily accomplished activities is the greatest way to develop persistent productivity habits. Begin absurdly little. Create a regimen that appears doable and consistent, and then even take a few steps back from there. If your objective is to write a book, for instance, begin by setting aside an hour each morning to write, then gradually reduce to 500 words each day, then 500 words every weekday, and finally 300 words per weekday. Basically, it's simpler to establish and maintain a routine when chores are broken down into manageable chunks. These little victories will eventually add up to something significant, like that book. If you have tried bullet journaling, time blocking, or just plain old to-do lists but haven't found the right solution to manage your time, then it's time to try out the Hourly Planner Bundle. This is the ultimate planner with everything you need to manage your schedule and get things done today. Featuring 300 plus planner pages with and without sidebars, 100 plus event and holiday labels, and over 2,000 plus planner stickers in 14 unique colors. All this and more can be found in our Hourly Planner Bundle, available in 2 amazing color options at perspectiveplans.com. Paperback edition, now available at Amazon. Helping you plan for what's to come. Myth 10. Finding the best productivity technique for your life. Choosing the most effective productivity method for your situation. This is more a matter of reasoning than hard research, but it's important to emphasize that not every productivity hack will be effective for every single person. Certain techniques are more popular among certain professions. For example, the Pomodoro technique is preferred by many programmers and creative types. I do know that project managers and directors who like to use the get things done approach, and techs who often use the personal Kanban method. I taught you how to remix productivity techniques to create a system that works for you if you can't discover a single technique that works for you on its own. The productivity strategy you'll really use is the one that works best for you. It is not advisable to force a strategy into your workflow just because someone else believes that it's the best approach. Try out Kanban if you're a project manager and you feel that the get things done method is a bit too complicated. Additionally, you are free to combine pieces from each and make them work for you. Restart yourself from scratch if your system has gotten out of hand by returning to the fundamentals. It's crucial to keep in mind that your productivity strategy should free up your time and energy so you can concentrate on the work at hand. You're squandering time if you organize more than you really execute the task you're organizing. Being productive doesn't mean spending your whole day shifting documents from one box to another. Rather, it means arriving at work early so you may finish early and pursue your interests. There is no one-size-fits-all strategy for productivity. Every piece you advise you read, including mine, should be seen in the context since it's extremely personalized. And here's a bonus myth if you've made it this far into the episode. Having many monitors improves or decreases your productivity. The question of whether having numerous screens increases productivity relies largely on what you do and how you work, which is why we're debating all sides of this myth. The notion that having several displays increases productivity has been supported by a lot of papers, although the research these articles were based on weren't entirely biased. What they truly stated is as follows. Apple actually commissioned the widely cited 2005 Pfeiffer Consulting research on multi-monitor productivity to coincide with the release of the then new 30-inch Apple Cinema display. In actuality, the research found that the screen real estate was more important than display counts. Similar findings were obtained from a 2008 University of Utah research, which was once funded by NEC Display Solutions. The conclusions: one big monitor or two larger displays increase productivity for those using spreadsheets or text versus with just one smaller one. Microsoft conducted research back in 2003 and found that the true secret to productivity was once again using several monitors to provide greater display area. The marketing campaign that followed these research advocated for many displays over bigger ones since larger screens were either non-existent or even unaffordable. All things considered, using two 24-inch monitors seemed a bit more reasonable. Although we've already discussed both sides of this issue, the discussion still flares up sometimes. So what is the truth then? It's simple. Real estate matters more than display count for most users who do text or even spreadsheet-based work in a number of active programs. If one has to distinguish between open windows, running apps, or even workspaces, the quantity of displays is more important than the actual space. Determine what you need, then make your purchases. Share this awesome episode with someone you know who needs it to help them plan for what's to come. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I hate for you to miss the next episode. Now let's get into our recap. So let's do a quick recap just in case you missed a myth on our list. Myth 1, working at your worst to become stronger. Myth 2, streamline your systems and productivity applications. Myth 3, maintaining a bulletproof routine. Myth 4, try replicating the routines of superachievers. Myth 5, utilize perks. Myth 6, real work cannot be done outside of the office. Myth 7, make the most of every second of the day. Myth 8, imagine reaching your target. Myth 9, set ambitious targets. Myth 10, finding the best productivity technique for your life. And of course, our bonus myth, having many monitors to improve or even decrease your productivity. The tragedy in life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in not having no goal to reach. Benjamin E. Mays. I just want to take a moment to thank our patrons and channel members. This episode would not be possible without your support. Thank you. And if you would like to support the show, visit patreon.com/perspectiveplans today. Thank you so much for stopping by and pressing play. I truly appreciate it. Let me know down below in the comments or your podcast review what tip you'll be using. Keep planning for what's to come, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.